Hello, my name is Hector here with Eagle Dream Technologies, and today we're going to talk about taking your application from Monolithic to microservices. Stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about application modernization. We're going to talk about going from a monolith type of application to a microservice. And we're going to touch on a couple of topics in here and see what will be best for your journey throughout this process. So what we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about what is it, why you want to migrate, common platforms and tools for this transition, and what is the future of microservices in general, and what could it mean for your industry and for where you are. So when we talk about monolithic and microservice applications, we're talking about two distinct ways of constructing your application. In a monolithic application, you're going to have everything. It's going to be integrated into a single stack of technology. And for that, you're going to have your front end, your APIs, your database, and all of that kind of clumped together in a particular environment. What happens many times is that when you're running that and you make a particular update, your application can go down. You're touching one area of the application and your complete stack, and it moves and affects all the other areas. Ideally, how the world of technology is moving, it's going into microservices. And what you're doing with a microservice, you're decoupling those sections of your technology. You're separating your front ends, you're separating your middleware, you're separating your data. You can have APIs and other types of technologies in different areas. And with that, not everything it's compiling to this single structure of application that a change in one have the potential of affecting everything else. It eases your releases. It makes your development a lot smoother in many ways. It takes a little bit of a shift in the way that you think about the technologies, and it will take a little bit of time to migrate whatever application you have that's a monolithic. You have to analyze it and what the logical parts would be and how is it going to go into microservices. There's been forecasting that pretty much every new application that it's built right now, it's built on the microservice type of structure, where you have small efficient teams doing different parts of the application that everything can be integrated, creating this large application for you. So some of the key features and characteristics for this, it's that you can have multiple components that all work together for your application. It's resistant to failure because a certain area of the application can go down. It's not going to take down your entire application like a lot of times happen with a monolith app, that if you have a section of your application go down, the entire thing goes down. In here, as you're separating your concerns, you can have specific areas that may not be as performant or have issues and go down, and you can recover from those. And so your entire application, it's not down. And it can be specialized. You can have very targeted services and things broken down to do very specific tasks. And that's really the way that you want to build your services in general. Agility, it's one thing that it's pretty important, because you can have your application teams work a little bit separate. They're not totally dependent on the work of one another. So if I have one team working on one particular section of my services, I can have another and another, and so on and so forth. And I can release each one of these components individually, instead of having to wait for everybody to be in one good spot, compile the entire thing, and then make my release. In here, I can just release sections of it. And I can align my team members into very specialized areas of this development. Someone's better doing this or have more knowledge in this area, I can assign it to that team specifically, and they don't have to concern themselves about learning all the other areas of the application. Scalability, it's another great point for this, because these little sections of your application are running independently more than likely in cloud, in AWS. And the services in which these run can scale, where in a monolithic application, if you have it in a data center, you won't have to allocate more resources to that. In this type of microservice technology, each view broken down in the different services that AWS provide, each one of those services will grow depending on your demand. So you're not tied to having to spend more money in allocating hardware and resources and all of that. So it will make it a little bit easier for your company in terms of time spent allocating that resources and in terms of money. And again, in ease of deployment, you can have areas of the application deployed independently, and you can have continuous integration and deployments into those. So you can have this particular section going while other ones are awaiting work. So your time frame doesn't have to be equal in all of them. You can have ones that are a little bit more advanced than others. So each team can release their own items independently. So several tools are used in AWS for this type of development. You can do containers in AWS ECS, and that's the platform that they use, that you can have your Docker containers and all that managed on the environment. For serverless applications, you use Lambda, which is the main service provided by AWS to create this microservice. It's cornerstone. If you want to do non-SQL for speed and other stuff, AWS provides DynamoDB, which is very effective in those areas. If for your database, for all your management, AWS RDS, the relational database service, you can have whatever flavor of database that you want. You can have Oracle, you can have Microsoft SQL Server, Postgres, MySQL, and others running on that. There's very good database performance, and you can grow it and scale as you need. This particular architecture that it's presented here, it's a very simple way of having your microservice architecture done. You can see that in each one of these verticals, it's a single part of your application. You have your user interface, your microservices, and then your data store. For your user interface, you can run completely serverless utilizing S3. If you use one of the common development tools, you can use React, you can use Angular and others, that can be completely hosted on S3. Your microservices can be hosted, like I said, on containers, so you can use API Gateway and Lambda to have those, and then you can have all your data store in RDS or any other data store technology. What's the future of microservices? Well, it's increasing in trendiness in the internet and in the development community. It's a faster, more effective way of doing development. And many teams and companies are finding out that it's an incredible value for the company. Also, these services continue to evolve. Lambda continue to evolve. Docker containers continue to evolve. All this is growing and making it easier for the teams managing it and for the developers to continue to add things and work on those environments. And when you move to this technologies, you're going to the cloud, you're moving away from your data centers and locally hosted applications. And you don't have to concern yourself, like I said before, about all the time and money that you're spending on managing a large data center, that you are the one responsible for storage and resources and all that. Plus, if the systems go down, you need to have personnel that it's right there physically to work with that equipment. Moving into the cloud, into these microservices, all that, it's managed by AWS, and you save some of that time and money. What's next? What do we do next with all this? You can start by, educating yourself a little bit, talking to us as experts in these services, and understanding what it would be and what it would mean for your company. We've done this multiple times, and we've gone, from the small to the really big in these transitions. You need to assess also your organization, and you need to evaluate what are the applications that you want to target that make sense for this. We understand that they're very large applications that will take a lot of time and money to make this transition. But you can target particular sections of work and move this where it makes the most sense financially and on your timeline for your company. And discoveries. We do a lot of discoveries. We sit down with our clients and we analyze their systems. We go and say, well, these are the areas, this is your application, this is how we'd be better served as a microservice. And in this way, we can split it and have it into migrated from one to another. So we can help you determine the entire journey for you from going from monolithic to going to microservices and what would better serve your company. So where do we go from there? So, give us a call. Let us know. We're here to help. We're experts. We've done this multiple times. We know exactly what it takes. We are experts in AWS technologies. We are a premier partner with AWS, and we're here to help. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to learn more, go check us out at eagledream.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and please follow the links on the description below.